Yo, 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 welcome to another edition of the Geeky Bros Podcast. I'm your boy Tactix.
Yo, just Darcy here.
And this is Big Geek Umar. How y'all doing today?
Good, good. I feel like the timing on that was good. Good job.
I've been practicing.
Yeah, in front of a mirror, probably.
Sadly, unfortunately, yes.
Love it, love it. Couldn't help it.
Fair enough. T, how about you? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Thanks for asking. I'm great. I'm doing
I'm
all right.
considerate like that.
I appreciate that, man. So nice today.
Yo, I'm nice. Anyway.
You have your moments.
That's weird.
Yeah. Moving on.
All right. So we're going to start our agenda for today with a new kind of like a last minute edition. So we didn't put it in our description, well, yet. But Darcy kind of sent us a video with a whole lot of would you rather questions. And so we're going to answer them on air. So Darcy, do you want to ask questions or shall I?
I don't know how you thought I sent them when we literally listened to
Yeah, I was like
5 minutes ago.
I'm pretty sure
I thought that was coming from you.
No, you literally asked me like, "What are the questions?" Like, how would I know? Like,
but then you started playing it.
No, he was playing it. Like, why?
So clearly, we have not rehearsed this in any way.
Absolutely not.
This is not live.
All right, so we're gonna do some on the air reactions to these questions. All right, so Tactix, do you want to take it?
Sure, if I must. Okay, so would you rather Wanda? I was gonna say WandaVision. Just Wanda, no vision. Although that would be a cool power, though. That would be a cool power. But Wanda or Doctor Strange's powers? Which one are you choosing? To possess, to have, to utilize?
Darcy, do you want to go first?
Okay,
I'll go first. I'm gonna go. We're talking MCU, right?
Yeah,
yes.
Not Marvel Comics.
Yeah, because we don't have enough information to compare on.
Okay, fine. So if we are just using MCU level magic, then I would go with Doctor Strange because I have said this before and I will say it to my dying day. I never want to be a magic user in the Marvel Comics. That shit is so dangerous and I don't want anything fucking to do with it. So yeah, I'll go with Doctor Strange on this one for the MCU Doctor Strange powers.
Okay. For myself, I'm not really a big magic user kind of guy, so they're kind of equal to me. But I'm feeling like I want to go with. Do you get the burdens that come with them as well? The burdens, like lifestyle, or like
no, sorry.
Responsibilities.
I thought you
were a whole lot of loss.
You
choose Wanda, bro.
Well, I don't mean like the story, like
no, just powers. Like basically, you can be a sorcerer that you learn to become a sorcerer, or you become like you have all the chaos magic coming out of you.
I think I'm just gonna go with Wanda's powers because I don't know. I feel like with Doctor Strange's powers, I'm not saying they're not good. I just feel like there's like a reliance on books, and I just feel like no, I just want to do what I do. So it's a dumb, selfish reason.
Tactix.
I'm gonna go with Doctor Strange just because Umar picked it, and when it comes to questions like this, you never bet against a guy who has like a library full of comic books. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Doctor Strange on this one.
That's like the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Don't get used to it.
I'm not. Thank you, man. Okay, so
it's a short chapter.
Yeah. All right. So the next, would you rather?
All right. So the next one is the whole world forgets you exist, or you forget your friends exist.
Yeah, I didn't want to answer this one. Umar, you're first. Wow.
first.
Me first. Yo,
Dumb.
fuck that. I ain't going first.
No, I don't think I've heard Umar be quiet this long before.
Shut up. All right, hold up. Okay. I think some of my friends would be happy if I forgot they exist. I'm gonna say whole world forget that I exist.
I think I'm gonna side with you on that one. I feel like if all my, because I also have a bad memory, so I already have forgotten people and they know I exist. So I already know what this experience is a little bit like. In the perspective of like me forgetting about them, but they not forgetting about me. So I feel like I'd rather go on the side of like either one's gonna suck, but at least when everyone else forgets and I don't forget, I get the choice to make a new life out of it and do what I want to do with it and like a restart. So I think I'm gonna go with that one.
Okay. T.
I feel like this is a trick question because, like, if the whole world forgets that I exist, and doesn't that include my friends?
Yeah.
Fuck. So that, like,
you gotta start all over.
It's Spider-Man.
Fuck.
You gotta do your GED, man.
Or damn, man. I think, yeah, maybe whole world, because I could just, it gives me an opportunity to rebrand. I could like reestablish myself. You know what I mean? I'm a talented guy. I'm funny. You know, I could build myself back up or not, and just be anonymous. Just be mysterious for a whole week, a whole year. So yeah, whole world, man. Yeah.
All right.
Put it this way. Imagine like at this point in your life, how many people you've had a decently positive enough interaction with, and a few people have had horrible experiences
That's
in your
true.
life. And then you're gonna go around your life, and then you gonna run into them and have no idea who they are, but they gonna know who you are and
That's
have a
true.
history, and they all gonna be pissed about it, even the ones who loved you. Like,
That's true. That's
so
very
that's
true.
why I'd rather the other way around. I don't want them to be all mad at me all day. Like
Yeah.
I don't know you.
That's why I chose that.
Just have an amnesia T-shirt that you wear, like, you know. Like, create the amnesia brand. Everything's amnesia. Why? Because I created the brand because just so people could stop coming up to me. You know,
Like kind of like those like cards that Joker had in like with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
All right, T. Next one.
Okay, so the next one is: would you rather keep Bucky or keep Loki?
Oh, Loki. Sorry, that was easy for me.
just like, yo, like
The
Bucky
level of disrespect. Wow.
Lucky's dead. So we're answering this question from a perspective as an audience member enjoying the movies and the shows, like in the overall MCU, right?
Or executive producer.
Yeah, I just mean like for the content, not as like we lived in that world.
Yeah.
Yeah, Loki. I can't lie.
Yeah.
T.
Well, this means that we don't get the Winter Soldier, Captain America and the Winter Soldier movie. So they got to go in a different direction. Yeah, y'all didn't think about that, did you?
I was thinking from this point forward. I wasn't thinking about rewriting.
I was actually thinking that.
Nah, bro,
forward.
that's not how this shit works.
Okay. So hold
That's
on. We're
not
talking
how
about
this shit works.
we're talking
I still
about
hold. I still do. I still decide because like the Russo brothers can fix it.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
damn it sucks. What about you?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'll still keep Loki, man. But I was just saying,
You were just trying to freak us out.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're right. Russo brothers could fix it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you
Last
sure
one.
though? Are you
But
sure?
that's a good movie to lose, though. I was just saying.
That is a good movie to lose.
Last
Because
one.
then, like the weight of it too, because it's like Loki, I don't feel was strong enough on his own. Like he's a great character, and the show was okay, but I feel like he's.
Hold up. In your opinion.
In my opinion, yes. My apologies. In my opinion, the show was okay, but like moving on. Let's
Okay.
yeah. All right. So the final question, the final would you rather? This is the big question. All right. Yelena spin-off TV series or movie, or we get another Daredevil, but season 4. Which one you got?
Yelena.
Daredevil.
Yelena.
Daredevil.
Yelena.
Yelena could be in Daredevil.
No, I want a series for her. I'm sorry. Like I like Daredevil, but I don't feel like all the seasons were as strong as the first season, and I don't really want more of the Netflix stuff. And there's a lot of opportunity what you could do with Yelena. I feel like we're gonna be like stuck with the Daredevil stuff compared to Yelena. And guess what, Umar? Daredevil can be in Yelena. So there.
T.
Okay, so I've thought long and hard about this, all 11 minutes. And I feel like I want to say Yelena, but part of me is like, unless, like, if it's her as a like just her by herself, I don't know how well that's gonna go.
You know that's gonna go well. You know it's gonna go well.
No, because I feel like I feel like she needs to like bounce off of people. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like by herself, like if she doesn't have someone to riff off of, then it's not gonna hit as hard for me. And I love that character. I love Yelena, but I feel she works best when she's partnered up with somebody. So if we're talking Kate Bishop and Yelena, or Black Widow and Yelena, yo, I'm all for that. But if it's just her by herself, I think I'm gonna have to go with Daredevil season 4, man.
No, they can bring it. They can bring somebody in. It'll work out. And don't worry, there'll be lots of people bouncing in her episode, anyways. You know what I'm saying? Bouncing off walls,
I don't want it to be
floors.
like a one-off. I need it to be a partnership. If you're not giving me a partnership, a consistent partnership, then I don't know if I'm interested, man. I feel like you run the risk of giving me too much Yelena without having someone to siphon off of. That it just becomes overbearing, and I'm like, I'm tired of this character now.
Yo, hold up. Yo,
like Loki. Loki's a perfect example. Like Loki was great because he was like part of like he was kind of in the group, not in the group as in like the Avengers, but he was like he had like people to bounce off of. But when you give him his own show, it was like
he had Owen Wilson to bounce off of.
Not really. Like he was there, but then he wasn't there. You know.
Those are
just hating on Loki, man.
Those are fair facts. Hold up. I gotta throw from the audience here. I gotta go with the facts here. Nudge says Yelena, Omega Red can come to Yelena, and he can't be in Daredevil. Boom, shakalaka. Those are his words, and I agree.
Nudge got some. He's got some facts right there.
Yeah.
I bet against Umar.
Yeah, and Yelena meets Colossus. What's all about? Yelena meets Colossus.
No. Yelena can meet Colossus. He's Russian.
Gotcha.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Flex. Nudge, I'm looking at you right now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Omega Red would be cool to see, but I feel like he could be introduced at any point in time.
Okay, if we're gonna start introducing like actual like X-Men characters, that would be a small. They are very like low-level characters to start introducing, except for Colossus. He's pretty well known. But
Omega Red's dope. Come on, man.
Man.
I want to see Omega Red.
He never was well utilized for me, except for in the comics. But like,
he's well utilized right now. Okay. Well utilized. Let's get it going. Yelena, let's go. It's gonna be dope.
Okay. Well, anyway, so it's like one audience member and Darcy saying Yelena, and Tactix and I saying Daredevil season 4.
Umar, you trying to tell me that you're above the audience? That you're better than the audience? Is that
I'm saying I'm equal to the audience?
Clearly, he was last week with that whole Matrix thing, yo.
What do I say about the Matrix?
I'm just saying,
you're the only one who liked it.
Okay, I gave it a 4 out of 10. That's a fail.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still like 400% better than everybody else.
All right, moving on. So, what has been released this past week is something that I was somewhat interested in seeing, but the Moon Knight trailer with Oscar Isaacs as playing the title character of Moon Knight. As I was saying, I was interested in the concept, but yo, damn, that trailer hooked me. I'm like, yo, I want to see that. So before I continue on, Darcy, what do you guys have to think? Darcy, let's start with you.
I've moved from interested to I'm definitely gonna see that. I can't say I'm like overly hyped. It looks like it's gonna be really good. It looks like it's gonna be a real mind bender. My only worry is that it'll either like my fear, but we haven't quite seen this yet. But my fear is that like we'll get into either it's gonna be one of two things. Like it's gonna be like mind bending these episodes. Oh, I can't tell what's going on, and it's exciting, or it's gonna be mind bending, and then I'm gonna get kind of like it's dragging for me, and then we get action later on. Because there's part of me it feels like it's gonna be a slow burn to him becoming this character, unless he's like always be this character, like the Moon Knight character, and he doesn't know it, and then he wakes up to it and he realizes what he's been doing the whole time. But my worry is that we're gonna be like, I don't know how many episodes, but let's say it's arguably 8 episodes, right? And we're gonna be waiting like episode 5 before action starts, and I'm gonna have a feelings kind of how like Tactix felt about WandaVision, where it's like slow burn for him. So that's my only worry, is that there's gonna be a slow burn, very mental focus on the show, and I might be bored. But the other side of me is like, it could be amazing. And Marvel hasn't really missed that much, so I'm kind of like, I need another trailer to make me feel like it's gonna be more exciting than that. But that's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling a little bit of a mixed bag. It looks good, but I'm still slightly worried. That's all.
Okay, fair. T.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Darcy. I think I need another trailer to really solidify my overall opinion on how I feel about this right now. But again, and this is kind of what happened with the Spider-Man No Way Home prior to watching it, where I was the fans and the speculation of what potentially could happen has me more excited than the actual trailer. I'm hearing a lot. Like I'm not hearing much about it in terms of like what they think is going to happen, but there's a lot of people that are comparing this character to the Batman, and I even saw one person say, I heard someone say, man, I can't believe we're getting Moon Knight and the Batman in 1 year, like in the same year. And I'm like, okay, that's
the same month.
There you go, even better. So it's like,
well, happy birthday to you lucky bastard.
So that has me kind of excited, because I'm like, okay, well, if they're comparing it to Batman, then this kind of has my interest peaked.
So it's a nudge. Not just like Moon Knight is going to be better than Batman.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far, bro. I would not go that far. Come on, man. Like, come on.
One, I hope it's the reverse, but I hope that they're both fucking 10s.
I hope they're both solid, but come on, man. Like, I'll say this on record now. I'll eat my words later, but I'm going to say this on record now. There's no way that Moon Knight is going to be better than the Batman. No way.
Shit.
No fucking way.
Yo, I'm gonna get in on that bet. I'm gonna slide in there right there. Okay, when we want to wager something, like a slice of pizza or something.
Let's do it.
Umar, what are we wagering?
Hold up. I'm going to say that I think Batman is going to be better.
Okay, we're all on the same side. So what happens? Nudge. What happens if if you are right and all three of us are wrong? What shall we wager?
We all gotta buy him an entire pizza.
Okay.
There you go. You got 3 full boxes of pizza if we're wrong.
No, 3 of us put in on one pizza. What is wrong with you? I don't know where this guy is. I don't know what pay the shipping and handling.
Then we'll just ship him the ingredients and he can make it himself.
Yeah, you get to make your own pizza. You won the bet.
Yeah, this PC didn't pay for it though. So
I will say that I have more faith than the both of you so far, because like, first of all, I like the mind bending aspects of this show. It looks kind of like I don't know. I like the idea of the fact that they're like going down the whole dissociative disorder angle. Also, the costume looks fucking on point. Like,
Oh yeah.
like I thank you MCU for not being afraid of costumes. Like the CW was afraid of costumes, and like Avi Arad was terrified of costumes. But like MCU was like, nah, we doing the costumes. And this, like the picture we have right here, that's some dope shit. I'm not gonna lie. Like as much as I'm knowledgeable of comic books, I don't know Moon Knight very well. In fact, I would say I barely know who he is. I like have like a vague concept, and like I think I read one comic like in the comic book store, and I just kind of like skimmed through it and then like put it away. So like I don't know a lot about Moon Knight, but this shit, like this trailer got me wanting to see more and actually having faith that this is going to be a really good series. I do see what you're saying, Darcy, about like the slow burn. I like slow burns. I know I'm different from the two of you when it comes to that stuff, but like I don't feel this one will be a slow burn. I think this like shit's so I think like some weird shit's gonna happen in each episode that's gonna make us go, ooh, in each episode. That's how I feel. But yeah, I don't see this being Batman.
So it seems interesting because I heard, or maybe I read it somewhere, that makes sense. He gets his powers from the moon, and
The god of the moon. The Egyptian god of moon.
No, yeah, no, but apparently like the cycles of the moon, like during a full moon is when he's at his strongest, apparently. And within the in the trailer, that thing that he's beating up on is actually a werewolf. So there's gonna be some kind of like werewolf type shit happening in this. I don't know how all of that ties in together, but yeah. So
if that's the case, then that would lead us right into Blade, because once you bring werewolves, you bring vampires.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing
actually,
go on.
It just occurred to me actually. He was working at a British museum, right?
Seems like it.
Yeah, isn't that where the dude from Eternals is, and Blade just went to go visit him at the end of Eternals?
Oh,
man, they're just tying in everything now.
I'm game for that.
Okay.
Still
not gonna be better than Batman, but
no. That seems more exciting. More exciting. Okay. One thing I want to say though about the whole slow burn thing is like, a lot of times in cinema, when you see like, I don't want to say dissociative disorder, but I want to say like when somebody isn't certain of their circumstances, usually like from like mental type scenarios or being manipulated. Yeah, it just, a lot of times cinema struggles to really, like in a show, keep you interested. And what I find is that over time what will happen is just like, I'm struggling to keep in step with the multiple storylines that they are telling, and then it becomes convoluted. An example being that X-Men show we had a while back where Legion, where I just started falling off because I got like, I just couldn't follow it anymore, and I was like, I don't know what's happening, I don't know what storyline is real, like I couldn't tell where the real show was, and I'd fall in love with like this portion of the character, but that's not the real portion, or is it the real portion? And I'm like, I'm sorry, like he is going through the inability to tell what's reality and what's not. I don't want to be having no ability to tell what the reality of the show is or not. Like
But that's the point of the show.
a little bit, yes, but if it gets to a point where like I can't tell at the end, I might not be like meh. Like I might just like end up being like checked out. But if they do a good job where like, oh, that was really a mind bending, and then I get some like I can tell by the end of the show like what's what. I'm like, yeah, but that's where I'm like, I don't know, like it could lose me.
T, any final thoughts regarding the mental health stuff? But Darcy
Not
just
really.
brought
I
up.
mean, I'm intrigued just because, you know, I to varying degrees we've all dealt with our own mental health issues. So it'd be good to kind of see that highlighted because it seems like the MCU is really focusing on a lot of like turmoil in regards to like, you know, with WandaVision and grief and loss and all that kind of stuff. And now they're touching on the mental health aspect, which I think is really 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 important right now. And so
Yeah.
I think to see that, especially considering that like, you know, kids are going to be watching this as well, so it might be like a kind of like a gateway for them to kind of understand, you know, these kind of touching subjects like grief and mental illness or and things of that nature. So yeah, I'm excited for it. Yeah, it's
All
not
right.
gonna be better than Batman, but yeah, I'm excited, man. Let's get to it.
All right. Well, we shall. Oh shit! It's Planet of the Apes writer with Hunger Games for Batman. I think Nudge is starting to realize he's about to lose a bet. Anyway, so yeah. So like we will see who is how this goes, but
By the way, I'm pretty certain that it's a werewolf. I'm just watching the like a trailer in the background, and like I paused on it. If that ain't a lichen, then I don't know what that is because it looked like a lichen.
okay. All right. So moving on. Our next topic is going to be focusing on an old topic that we definitely covered last year. One that actually kind of went off everyone's mind because, you know, we all thought the conversation that had been had, especially after watching Justice League, the Snyder Cut. Joss Whedon, for no apparent reason, decided to finally, or I should say not finally, but decided to just give his statement on the Ray Fisher controversy. We don't know why now, because you would think that like maybe he was trying to like, you know, wait for the right time to like to give his piece and to like, you know, have a good reason to respond to everything. Yeah, after listening to his responses, I can only think that he dumber than dumb because he pretty much responded or broke his silence to say everything we all assumed he said was saying to himself anyway. He just criticized Ray Fisher, he criticized Gal Gadot, he painted himself to be a victim and pretty much said that like nothing inappropriate happened. He doesn't know what all the people on Buffy and Justice League were talking about. At worst, I would say that he said that it was a misunderstanding. Sorry, at least he said it was a misunderstanding. At worst, like he called Ray Fisher like a malevolent force who was a bad actor.
On and offset.
On and offset, yes. I feel those would have been stronger words had we not already watched and loved his performance in the Justice League Snyder Cut. It's kind of like, we know you're wrong. You dumb. You don't know what you're talking about. And the Gal Gadot thing was just like, he said that there was a language barrier, and that's the reason there was a misunderstanding. But I was like, you didn't seem to have other misunderstandings with other directors, or, you know, Ray Fisher didn't seem to have a misunderstanding either. I'm just saying, like, these were dumb responses, and he waited all this time So yeah, I want to get you, like, you guys now clearly know what I think about this situation. I want to hear what you guys think. So Tactix, will start with you, man. What do you think?
What did he call Ray Fisher again?
A malevolent force.
Man, he probably
And a
wanted to say
bad actor.
nigger. He
Sorry?
probably wanted to call that motherfucker nigger, but he was like, I'll just say something that sounds smart and intelligent. So, just to avoid, but yeah, he wanted to say the N-word so bad.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought the same thing.
Yeah, that, I felt that, man. I was like, I don't even know what that word is, but I know what he was trying to say.
It was like the dumber version of, like, when Fox News, call black people not hooligans, what's the one, like hoodlums or like
Hoodlums.
yeah, right, or like or other words that are basically like criminal, right? And then it's like, that's the other word for nigger, and it's like,
Yeah,
he's like
what's a synonym for the N-word?
He's like,
all right,
I'm
we'll go with
gonna,
that.
yeah. Josh Whedon, you're like, I'm gonna invent a new one. Other people at the Klan rally, like, malevolent force.
And then in regards to the Gal Gadot thing, it's like he can't call her a hoe ass bitch, so he'll probably just be like, I just don't understand her, so that's why. He's got issues with women. He had some issue with what's her name, Charisma Carpenter.
Yeah, he said he didn't call her fat, but he could be rude or insensitive.
Yeah, this dude just has an issue with black people and women, clearly. So yeah, and I mean, when like if it's just one person, then it's like, oh, okay, it's questionable. But like, damn near everyone that you work with has something bad to say about you. Like, that's not a good look. It's not like they all got together and conspired and be like, hey, how can we fuck up Joss Whedon's life today? Like, what does that do for them? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Especially years like Charisma Carpenter. Like, what does that do for her? Nothing. So I don't know, man. It's not looking good for you, Joss. It's not looking good for you, bro. Not that I care, but
yeah. So let me put my thoughts down here on LossWhedon. Yes, I said that. LossWhedon. So I honestly feel like this is like that scenario where they're like, yo, Jimmy, can you, your uncle, man, he's drunk. He's messing up things at the party. He's saying things he shouldn't say. Can you just get him out of here? Like, he feels like that drunk uncle who comes in and says the unnecessary friggin' things. Like, literally the whole Gal Gadot statement reminds me of, like, it's like someone says something rude, and then they're like, and it's like like a person of a different nationality. It's like, oh, they're Filipino, they wouldn't understand. It's like, they're speaking perfect English.
Yeah.
What do you mean they wouldn't understand? They're talking to you in your language. Everybody here understands them. They understand everything everyone else is saying. You just gonna chalk up your ignorance to
the only thing that people don't understand about Gal Gadot is how to pronounce her last name. Other than that, she speaks perfectly fine English. Yeah. Like, I don't get it.
Isn't it Godot?
No, but like, I can guarantee you, like, I don't know. But like, I hear what Tactix is saying. Like, she has clearly been able to get across everything, and he can't claim that this is a nuanced conversation between like a director and an actor. Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry if Godot, yeah, I went there. If Godot didn't understand like something he said, do you think it would have gone to the level where she had to get like higher level people involved? Like, I don't think so. She knows how to jokingly handle that situation. We've seen her do it live on like interviews, So no, that's some bull. And yeah, it's hilarious that he calls him a bad actor on and off stage. Like, if he just said he was a bad actor in real life, like, that might have had more weight. But you can't wait till everyone's like, the best part of the film that was cut was Ray Fisher. And like critics are like saying, like, he's the best part of the whole movie, and then you're like, he's a bad actor. Like,
and then Joss Whedon comes in. I strongly disagree.
yeah, but like not during it, not before it, but like 6 months later, he was like, "Nah, he's a bad actor." It's like,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. He just I don't know, man. Just Put him out to the pasture. LossWhedon. Come on, man. It's over. And I hope that goes viral. Hashtag LossWhedon.
Hashtag LossWhedon. T, let's put up on Nudge's last comment up on there. So Nudge says, but think of all the powerful, smart black cast members in Buffy.
I can think of one.
Is there ever a black
That
person in
got
Buffy?
killed?
Buffy?
Yeah, she got killed.
She got murdered, bro.
She was a Slayer who got killed.
Yeah. The terrible Jamaican accent one. That sounded more Irish than Jamaican.
I'm just like looking. There was another person. Robin Wood.
Oh yeah, in the final season. Final season.
Oh yeah.
He was
but
didn't
Whedon left by that point, didn't he?
Whedon was still doing other shows. He was doing Firefly and he was doing Angel at the same time. So like Whedon wasn't really that involved.
He's like, yeah, that black guy could be in it. Who cares? I'm not attached to this anymore.
Oh.
And then the other black guy, there's another black guy when they were doing the whole army or the whole like military thing where Buffy was dating
the
Robin guy.
He was like the worst guy there. He was like the dumbest person there. You're like, guys, shut up.
And then they killed him, and then they turned him into some Frankenstein monster. So it's like, yeah, what are you doing to all these Negroes, man?
I mean, welcome to show business.
Yeah. Okay, so so nonetheless, LossWhedon is definitely happening.
A lost cause.
Yeah, and honestly, I am one of the people who I was a big fan of Joss Whedon, but I will say that after reading a lot of what other people have said, he publicly shamed writers in the writers' room on Firefly, but for saying this is how you do bad writing, and this went on for an hour. It was an entire presentation about how this person sucked at writing, and then also at the same time he threatened James Marsters, who's played Spike, because he felt he was getting more popular than Joss Whedon. And then at the same time, it's been reported, but no one knows which cast members. But apparently, Joss Whedon, while married, was hooking up with 2 cast members from Buffy, and also unapologetically. Now, that is his excuse for saying, "I didn't do terrible things on set of Buffy because I was afraid that they would ruin my marriage." And I'm just like,
so you need to be blackmailed into treating people nicely? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, like everyone else will do with Joss Whedon, moving on. So we are going to I think it was Darcy who sent us in our group chat. We received and to be honest, I agree with him. He said that he's been seeing this pop up a lot on YouTube and also online, and so have I. Ever since the movie Eternals came out, there has been some level of discussion, or I would say that the discussion has taken a new track of what if Thanos was right. Darcy sent us a link. I'm not sure if the image. Anyway, the image that Darcy sent us was saying, "What if Thanos knew about the emergence, which was the emergence of spoiler warning for anyone who hasn't seen the Eternals.
They probably weren't going to see it at this point.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So what if Thanos knew about the emergence, aka the all planets have been seeded with certain planets have been seeded with a celestial inside, and the Eternals are placed on the planet to help create the best environment to let the celestial crack free from the planet and emerge at the cost of the planet." So he's like, if Thanos knew about the emergence, and Ajax says that the blip delayed the emergence, maybe Thanos' planet Titan was destroyed because of the emergence. He said it was because of overpopulation, but that's even more reason for a celestial to emerge from it. So Thanos erased half of the population of the universe so he could save other planets from destruction. Hence why the question comes up: was Thanos right? I have my opinion on this, but I kind of want to hear what you guys have to say. So, Darcy, you brought us this topic. What do you have to say, bro?
Damn, shouldn't have brought the topic then. Um, like it's very difficult. Like if it was like if his planet wasn't destroyed for that reason, then yeah, like why would he have saved the other planets because of it? But if that was and it was his motivation, it's like, is he right? Probably not, but it's interesting because it's like some plants benefit from it, but then at the same time, they also are hurt by it, right? Like the plants will struggle because lack of resources, lack of skills, lack of people, because it's all random. So you could have entire things that nobody can take care of, right? Or there's not enough people to take care of all the nuclear plants on the planet, so like things aren't falling apart. Um, but at the same, it's like how they say like save one life or save 100 kind of a thing. It's like how many of these planets were going to be destroyed by the Celestials, and would there be less deaths with the Celestials destroying those planets than the amount of damage he caused by half the universe being erased? Which one's worse? So it's a hard ass question. It's a hard ass question.
Tactics.
I just don't feel. I feel like Thanos had his own agenda, and it wasn't that. I just based off of his character, I just don't. I just don't think that he went in with the intention of like, oh, I'm gonna save this planet and delay, the Celestials from piercing through Earth and destroying multiple planets. I feel like he was just power hungry and wanted to do shit just because he could, and it was like for bragging rights basically. So I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm on board with that whole Thanos is right. I mean, I feel like as a result of what he did, yeah, he probably would have delayed that from happening, but I don't think that was his like initial intention. I think he had his own agenda and could care less about what other planets are potentially going to be experiencing as a result of the Celestials coming
But
through.
but what if his planet was destroyed by the Celestials, and not just that, but just in general, he views like the problems of overpopulation as just like he's like, I could solve this and other problems that are caused by overpopulation. If he is motivated by that,
I
then
feel
does
like,
it change your answer?
but I feel like he would have told somebody on board. Like I feel like that would have been revealed. Like why be so secretive about it? I understand.
Because Kevin Feige kept him at bay.
My personal opinion is that I would disagree. Like, first of all, Thanos is insane. He's called the Mad Titan. So he is not someone who is like, aside from in What If, we had like T'Challa Star-Lord convince him of the insanity of his plan and to like figure out to redistribute things a certain way. Thanos is not an open-minded individual. People keep talking that he's a scientist, and yes, in the comic books he's a scientist, but in the MCU, while very intelligent, very capable, very strategic, and very battle-hardened, he's a warlord. And while he may have knowledge and intelligence, he's not an open-minded individual, and so therefore he is precluding knowledge. So therefore his scientific capability is limited. Secondly, we're just talking about delaying the emergence on a universal scale. All he's doing is delaying it and like on Earth, it would take maybe a century for humanity to like populate back to the level that we were at. And other planets probably would go up and down depending on like how quickly they're able to like repopulate. But also, he was like Gamora's planet. After the 50% were wiped out by him, the planet, like the species died. So and Darcy, you kind of touched on this. Like, it's very likely that a lot of these planets died. So he didn't really save anyone. He just caused mass trauma. And he is a mad titan because his view of a one rule fits all for different ecosystems and different societal and cultural arenas, that is insanity in itself. Like, there's no way. Like the Asgardians, for example, they didn't need to be cut in half. They were already like they had already had massive losses, and he still cut them down in half for no apparent reason. And then with the snap, he cut them a half all over again. So like their species was like on the brink of extinction because of him. So Thanos is like, there's no way he was right, because like you delaying the emergence, you're just delaying something that's going to happen. What would that do? You're not saving anyone by delaying it. So for me, I like even if he did know about the emergence, he had a dumbass plan, and it doesn't excuse the fact that he was brutally murdering scores of species. So yeah, like Thanos was not right. And also, overpopulation has nothing to do with food. It has to do with energy. Like, yes, like resources are finite, but that's an energy-based issue. Plants can grow food, or plants can be regrown, and you can have resources to feed. It's just you have to control the populace a little bit in terms of like their consumption. So yeah, I personally do not believe that Thanos is right on a scientific or political or even a efficient level.
Yeah, and then he destroyed the stones too. So technically, it was only a temporary fix. Because what happens when, like Umar said, like if a century goes by again, and then Earth repopulates, then they're having that problem again. But now they have no way of rectifying the situation again.
Yeah, I continue to agree. I actually have a thought that came up while you guys were talking about this.
Please.
Because you said like there's planets that when he wipes out half the population die because they couldn't push forward without the other half of the population, right? If you actually think about that, what could also show up in Captain Marvel, if they touch on this, is that some planets might die twice. All the planet dies in the 5 year because it got snapped. Then the half comes back.
Oh.
If the other half of the people, if there wasn't a few set of geniuses in there for that planet, if it literally was a manpower level problem that why they died, they're dying again. So there's planets that are going to be wiped out twice, and they're going to come back, and it's going to be more worse than the people who are left in the first time. Could be more apocalyptic. Things would, depending on how long it took for them to fall apart. Some like 6 months, maybe some 2.5 years, right? But if they just like basically fell apart and there's like 3 people left,
Hold on, actually, I just remembered in Endgame, he himself admitted that his way was wrong.
Yes. He admitted it when what he said was, I realize it's now wrong. I have to restart the entire universe, not like wipe a half. Like he's going to do the whole thing. Yeah.
But exactly, so like he himself proved that his half the universe plan wasn't working.
Yeah. Once he was shown reason, and the reason was that like he saw the result of what 5 years of his plan doing is. When the younger or different very timeline version of him saw it, which is very similar to like What If, in the sense that like it just takes the right reason because he's a man of reason, and so therefore, as long as it makes sense.
Yo, Nudge, that's a great point. Okay, so Nudge written in the chat. Also, we've seen in future Fantastic Four comic books, you can stop a celestial seed. So the better question is Galactus right for destroying planets? Because in I think the Earth X comic book graphic novel, and also Nudge says because Galactus does eat celestial seeds as one of the reasons he eats planets, right? So like Galactus, for the people who don't know, he is the devourer of worlds. He goes to a planet, he gets his heralds to and Silver Surfer is his herald, or one of them. They go out, they find planets that are suitable. Galactus goes there and consumes them. He doesn't do this out of malice. He does this for nourishment because that's the only way, like that's what he eats. And in comic books, Fantastic Four, and also in the Earth X future comic book, it was revealed that Galactus actually is choosing appropriate worlds that are also having celestial seeds in them. So is Galactus right for eating these celestials so they don't propagate more and therefore don't embed other planets with their seed? But I guess that answer, like in the MCU, it's stated that it is currently believed that the celestials are the cause for the creation of galaxies and and for gravity and for planets and that sort of thing. And a few of them are chosen to be seeds for the celestials, who will then crack, kill everyone on the planet. But then also a celestial will then create a new universe or a new galaxy, I should say, not universe. So, is it wrong for Galactus to do this, or in the MCU, if Thanos knew about it, that for Thanos to stop this, which is essentially the question that was being debated in the Eternals movie. Is it wrong to stop the emergence of a celestial?
Well, again, it sounds like Galactus is just doing it for his own selfish needs. Well, I mean, his own needs. Not that it's selfish. I mean, he needs it to survive, but it's not out of like some kind of high morale because like, oh, I'm protecting the universe by eating this planet.
Well, it's a mixture of both. Like he's selectively choosing what plants to eat, as opposed to just eating everything in his path. Because like for me,
so he's just not gluttonous. That's all that is.
As a trainer, you would be happy that he's figuring out his diet.
As long as he stays away from my planet, go nuts, yo.
I've always viewed Galactus as not evil, just as I think like I'm not sure if you guys remember this in Star Trek: The Next Generation, when discussing the crystalline entity, Captain Picard said that there are certain the whales in the sea, they go through and like they're eating all these scores of fishes, not out of malice. They're feeding. That is how they have been designed to feed.
So question.
Okay.
What would be a like vegan equivalent of planets if he wanted to switch up his diet? You know what I'm saying? Like
asteroids.
Couldn't you just eat like some stars or some shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like
asteroids, bro. It's asteroids. But you can't eat, you eat the stars, you kill the planets.
Yeah, this is true.
Like,
what
like,
would be what is the vegan option?
Can you imagine if you ate the stars, the planets would be on some kind of rotation. Then they would the gravity pull would go away. They would start moving in a different direction, and they would immediately like everyone would die of freezing in like such a short period of time because there'd be no heat. Yeah, that'd be bad. But yeah, asteroids are probably like the best thing because it's like nothing sentient lives on it. It's just rocks and things like that. Like
probably not enough protein in asteroids though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
you'd have to eat a shit ton of I like there aren't like I don't even know like what he chooses like how his body is nourished. Like is it the people that he's eating, or is it like the core that sustains him, like all that sort of stuff? It depends.
It'd have to be the energy from the planet, from its core, because let's be honest here, like as big as he is and you're eating a planet, like the people on it are probably like garnished.
It's like the micronutrients. The people are the micronutrients basically.
I was gonna go with like the sugar on top.
Oh,
They're frosting, bro. They're frosting.
Yeah, but look, going back to the original issue, I would say that even before this emergence topic came up, I still think I believe Thanos is wrong, and even if he was trying to save the emergence by wiping out half, for example, Titan is a dead world, therefore the emergence didn't take place because the celestial inside probably died when the entire populace died. So both suffered in that situation.
Mm.
Interesting. Yeah.
T, can you put Najim's last comment on? I think it's just once you get to a cosmic level, you have cosmic needs. I say fuck Galactus too. LOL.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What would a black hole would be in terms of diets?
I think it would kill you.
I think it'd be like
It would eat you.
and fair. Yeah, that's like the time like I'm gonna get my bear raw. Like, are you though?
Yeah, that bear would eat you.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Our final topic of tonight is another attempt at pitching a show to one of us. So I have not watched the Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
I have not watched Peacemaker with John Cena. I'm not saying I don't see a need to watch it right away. I'm not really in the mood for it, and I also don't feel it like I like John Cena. Don't get me wrong, I love John Cena, but like his character was interesting in the Suicide Squad, but like an entire show devoted to that character, and also they're clearly trying to show that they can retcon him a little bit, so he's not as much of a psychotic person in as he was at the end of the movie. But nonetheless, I have been getting a steady stream online responses of people saying how good and insane this show is. I'm not really in the mood for that right now, but apparently my bros have demolished this, and they are wanting to pitch me. So I'm going to let them take this away. And T, let's start with you, bro. Like, why should I get on this show right away?
It's a good question. I wasn't super on board with the Peacemaker show. Like when they announced it, I was kind of like, meh. I mean, I thought he was going to be one of those characters similar to what we said about Yelena, where it's like he's good if he's being supported by other characters, but on his own, I don't know if I could just sit through a whole series of just him. So I went in reluctantly thinking, okay, I'm probably not gonna like this show. And then I watched the first episode and I was like, okay, it's different. It's got that John Cena humor. Like it seems like he fits the role really well. And it wasn't super action heavy for the first, I'd say maybe 2 episodes.
I mean, the end of that first episode had action, no?
Yeah. Okay, fair. But yeah, like the show, it picks up and it's interesting, it's different, it's very unique, and yeah, surprisingly I actually really enjoy it. And I wouldn't say I'm an avid fan of John Cena, but he's been funny in certain movies, like Trainwreck, like hilarious.
He killed me.
That he's in the movie for like he's got like maybe a total screen time of like 10 minutes, but it's probably the best and most memorable 10 minutes of that entire movie.
The movie theater scene.
Oh man, hilarious. So like he's got comedy chops for such a guy of his stature, right? So I think it adds to the humor on account of how big he is and like how hilarious he is. So I am actually glad that they found a role that's very fitting for him. And I couldn't imagine anyone else playing this character. Like we were talking about this off air about like, could The Rock do a character like this? And
no,
maybe 10 years ago I would have said possibly. Now I don't see it. So like, yeah, I like the show. I like where it's going. My favorite character though, like, Peacemaker is hilarious. He's accurate in everything in terms of what we saw in Suicide Squad. But my favorite is Vigilante, man. Like he is
really,
like, yeah, like he's just unexpectedly hilarious, and it just adds an element to the show. Yeah, I like, but he's also like again, I don't want to steal Darcy's his points, but he made a reference saying that Vigilante, like you expect him to be one of those like characters where it's like, oh, he's gonna be like a whack, lame, like sidekick character that doesn't really do anything, and then he ends up surprising you, and he's like, oh, he can actually fuck shit up. Like he's actually a legit badass. He's kind of a weird guy and kind of a loser, but at the same time, he's also got like he's top notch when it comes to like fighting and shit. So that was really refreshing to see. So yeah, I'm enjoying the show. I like where it's going so far. The storyline is interesting enough to keep me invested in the show and see where it goes, see how the season plays out. It's by far the best DC series that we've had. I can't think of another solid one on this level. So
okay, so when you say DC series, are you also including like the CW shows?
Yeah. Well, what? Yeah. Well, okay. So
what else are you including?
No, because I forgot about Superman and Lois. Superman and Lois is pretty, but then yeah, I don't know. I don't know which.
The thing is like Superman and Lois and this are very different.
They're very different. Yeah. So it's very hard to like.
But if you ask me which one's better, given that you're talking about, well, I've seen 3.5 episodes, but 4 episodes compared to a whole season. Honestly, this show's better for me. This show's better than Superman and Lois, because the problem with Superman and Lois is like it's good, but most of what it makes it good is like Tyler Hoechlin, sometimes Lois's character, and the stuff that happens outside of like the school, like the family stuff. But then there's CW stuff that happens that we don't like. This show is in every episode so far, unequivocally its own thing, and it doesn't try to play between multiple different. Oh, we gotta have a little like it's 100% going in on what it needs to be, and for me, it's a unique like The Boys is unique, right? It's coming at it more. Yeah. It's a lot closer to The Boys level of a show than like anything DC, and it's fun. It's kind of, well, it's HBO Max. I was gonna say it's like an HBO show because it's HBO Max. So there you go. It's got that HBO level like kind of quality. The thing I love, like Rare the Gate, I was like, let me put this on first episode. It couldn't have more of a better tie-in to the movie than I've ever seen. I don't want to spoil how it starts, but it's like it's the best tie-in from a show to a movie like I've ever seen. Like it's hilarious how they tie it in.
These are very strong like responses from you guys. I'm actually a little surprised.
For me, this is like an 8.5 kind of out of 10 kind of show for me. I'm loving
Peacemaker.
I'm really enjoying it. And you said redcon. They're not redconning it. They explain his whole thing with like how his character was at the beginning to the end. Like they've already given me enough with like reading the message, but behind a lot of stuff. John Cena kills it. So go back to what Tactix said. Could The Rock do this? I don't think The Rock could have done this at any point. Like a big man of stature, because The Rock has always had a charm and a bravado and like an ego in his performance.
He never makes fun of himself to this degree.
Yeah, John Cena, like there are scenes, like when I say you will see a lot of John Cena, I mean you will see a lot of John Cena. There is basically like a whole episode where you're not gonna see much close. Like this man has more like almost straight nude time than like most women have to go to collectively across like
respect actually like respect to that.
And by the way, this show is HBO, so nudity is involved. Like there is literal like the cast is fantastic. Everyone plays really well off of each other. Yeah, Vigilante there in the top right. I mean, you can already tell why Tactix likes him so much. The chick on the left is a rock star.
Bro, say no more, dude. Say no more,
just amazing in every aspect. She kills her role, but you can't help but have a crush like every minute she's on scene.
100%, yo.
It's like she can't comes at it like a Yelena, like not at all same character style, but just like you're like, yeah, more please.
Yeah.
Okay.
But John Cena, honestly, is some of his best acting because it goes through a lot of different, like he has to do a lot of different emotions, right? But they're like, and the way oh my gosh, James Gunn. Sorry, I kept thinking Joss LossWhedon over here, so I was trying to get that out of my head. The way James Gunn also goes about like taking like a moment that's meant to be sad and then making a joke out of it, and then also letting you feel some emotion, but then like just like stopping it with like a joke is fantastic. There's also an element of the show that I really appreciate. So in the movie, it's very clear, and people make some jokes about it that like he doesn't realize his character is like based off of racism, right? And I don't want to get too much into it, but they actually go into this in this show that like there's a lot of like it's right out of the gate. He's like people are identifying with him like you know this stuff is racist, right? And he's like, no, I'm not racist. Like, and you actually start to feel for him because you realize he's not aware that the things around him and they're portraying off of him are racist, but he's actually not a racist guy. He is literally like the white dude who's been grown up around racism and doesn't know and is realizing when people identify with him that some of the stuff is bad. He's like, oh, like he realizes he has to change right away. And it's funny because it's like, it's just a way he's in the middle of stuff.
Hold up. So you're saying that he grew up with people who are racist, so he emulated that. But he doesn't actually have the hate behind racism. So like now that he's like,
I wouldn't say he emulates it, but he sees it as like he sees it as the standard norm because that's how he grew. He was grown up in that. He grew up in that environment, so he comes off very sexist. But it's not like it's not like sexist in the sense of like
you should be that way, but like, yeah, like I've always known you to be that way.
Yeah, like he's not trying to be disrespectful. It's just he doesn't know anything else. He doesn't know any better because he just thinks that this is a normal thing. Like he has a dialogue with the blonde girl here, and he says it in a way where it doesn't come off as egotistical. It comes off as like, oh man, you're checked out. Like it's like you're from a different planet and you just don't know like the lingo. You know what I mean? So it almost doesn't come off offensive in a way. It very much so is, but it's like it elicits a weird feeling because you're just like you like what Darcy was kind of saying, like you feel sorry for him and it's funny. It's not like, oh man, like where you're like, shit, you shouldn't have said that kind of thing. Granted, he shouldn't have said it, but like you'll understand it when you see it. It's just the way the writing is so well done in that way where it's like it's wrong what he said, but the way that he's saying it, there's a level of innocence there. It doesn't come off malicious.
It's confident and ignorant.
There are two black characters in this, so clearly he probably said some racist stuff.
He not straight up racist, but he ends up having a dialogue with the female of the two, and he has a dialogue with her, and there's a scene where she's just like, "You're so wrong, but I like how confident you are when you say it."
Yeah,
and you have to see you have to see, but like let me put it this way: his character at his core is like a small child who is overcompensating with his size for something. I won't want to say what because I want to be like he became really big and he's overcompensating in everything he does in his life because of a particular set of reasons. And yet imagine a really innocent kid who really overcompensates and grows up, let's say around a gang of truckers and has no idea that the way truckers talk is extremely offensive to the world and the way they think is really offensive. And he's just like an innocent human being who just didn't see the world any other way. And then he gets out in the world and people are like, the fuck are you doing? and he honestly wants everybody to he wants to be liked. So he's like, wait, what? Like, I had no idea. And it needs to convince him.
That being sad.
Yeah. And it's an endearing thing, but I like it too because like, there are people who grow up in ignorance and don't realize their situation and their privilege and their stuff. So it's like James Gunn is being smart enough with the writing of this show and whoever was writing on this to like make people see a situation but make humor of it, so it's not about feeling bad and feeling worn down by a show. You can actually just laugh and enjoy it, but then also remember, like, yeah, that stuff is stupid. like,
But I think I think that's the beauty of the writing, because that's the point.
Yeah.
For those that don't laugh at it, they don't get the humor, and that's the problem, because it's like, yo, you think that like what he said, there's nothing wrong with that. We're laughing because there is something wrong with what he said, but the way it's being portrayed is like he's basically just a big man child that doesn't know any better.
Interesting. And while you're making light of it and making it humorous, you're also educating or giving a chance for education for the people like him. Because
Yes.
like, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's like making the conversation more approachable through humor.
Mhm.
And not beating you over the head with it.
Yeah. And then potentially turning around 2 seconds later and beating somebody over the head with something else. Because this show will just like turn raunchy. Like it'll go like the Harley Quinn, like the Harley
Cartoon.
like anime, cartoon. Yeah, it'll go just unnecessarily raunchy into stuff, and that's awesome. Plus his sidekick is my favorite pet character ever. He has an eagle called Eagly,
Eagle.
and it is one of the best pet characters I have seen in a show in a long time. It has an unbelievable amount of personality.
Which is his actual best
Eagle?
friend. Remember, keep that in mind.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's his actual best friend.
Oh, the eagle is the best, and the lines that he has, because he's interacting, and people are like he's like no, Eagly, and people are like, he has a pet eagle, and then they'll see the eagle, they're like, for real? It's like the first time they see the eagle in the back of the car, they're like, what?
So this is an eagle that you say is endearing?
Oh, it's so fucking endearing, man.
Yeah.
It's so good. It is.
Like Baby Yoda level endearing?
Yeah, it's close. It's close. Like it's not quite as endearing as Baby Yoda, because especially that soup scene. Oh, ain't nothing touching that soup scene. Yeah, nothing touching that. But it is.
There's still time.
It's endearing, but it's also like this thing is vicious because it's an eagle, right? So
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but it's completely endearing in his presence. Just don't fuck up and when around the eagle, because you know the eagle going like take its talons and take your eyes out. But with him in their relationship, it's so endearing. It's like when somebody has like a dog that's just like becomes like another human, and it's like, you know, oh, he feeds him and the dog like walks upright, or like likes wearing a jacket, or like has a favorite show along with the person. It's almost like that level of endearing and of an eagle, and it's so unexpected. It makes
Okay,
for great
I
moments.
have to watch the show because you guys have painted such a weird picture. And I'm just like, what is happening?
Oh, this show is off the walls, bro. Just you're not ready, man. But buckle up, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. It's a good time.
You have convinced me. I'm going to try to watch it tonight.
And there you go.
Absolutely. I'm happy to hear that.
Okay. Well, successful pitching. Still, I'm a little. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna see, and hopefully I'll catch up by next week, and we can do a proper review for it.
I have a feeling you'll be caught up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, passing it back to you, T.
All right. Well, thought I'd make you sweat there for a bit.
The prologue.
All right. Well, this has been another edition of the Geeky Bros Podcast. I'm your boy Tactix.
Yeah, it's just Darcy here.
And this is Big Geek Umar. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe, and live long and prosper, y'all.
Eagle out.